Now, Buenos Aires girls are some of the hottest in South America, but they're not easy to pull. So in this guide, we're going to talk about what you need to know to pick up hot Argentinian girls quickly, cheaply, and easily. Before we get started, and for those who just want the answer straight away, the number one way to meet hot Argentinian girls anywhere in the world is to use a specialist Latino hookup sex dating website. Fortunately for you, I found the best site with loads of hot Argentinian, Brazilian and Colombian girls. And these are girls in the United States, UK, Canada, all over the Western world, as well as in Buenos Aires itself. So just click the link in the description below to sign up to this Latino dating site for free. So what is Buenos Aires in Argentina like to meet hot women? Well, on my 20 best cities in the world to get laid, Buenos Aires ranks number 17, so towards the bottom. Now, in terms of the hotness of the women in Buenos Aires, I've given it a 7 out of 10. And how difficult is it to approach? Also a 7 out of 10. It's not easy to approach there. The city itself is very livable, so it has a city livability ranking of 7.5 out of 10, and for nightlife, 7 out of 10, with an overall rating then of 7 out of 10. So it scores highly on the hotness of women scale, as well as the livability score. But there are some quirks about the city that the average guy who goes there to meet women will definitely need to bear in mind. So where do you want to stay in Buenos Aires? The best place to stay, which gives you access to meeting women in the daytime and nighttime, is Palermo, Soho. It's a beautiful part of the city with all the best restaurants, bars and places to meet girls. Now, if you want to approach women in Buenos Aires in the daytime, Argentinian women are usually quite cautious due to the locals leering and wolf whistling them and generally making them fearful of being approached. So you'll need to approach cautiously with a smile and be non-threatening and try to take her for a coffee. Now, the reason you want to take her for a coffee is because Argentinian women are quite flaky. So you have to try and solidify any interaction with a coffee after a brief chat rather than just immediately exchanging numbers or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So try and stay in there a bit longer and get her on a coffee there and then. Now, in terms of nightlife in Buenos Aires, the best option for the average guy to meet the best looking women is Rose Bar in the Soho neighbourhood. Now, it's not like LA, and you don't need to get there until about 11 PM, because a party doesn't really start until 2 or 2:30 in the morning. And once you're inside, you can take a table quite cheaply, compared to England at least, and eat delicious free food, and you can chat to the hot local women. Now, the women in this place are very frisky. I was in there as a young man, about 34 years old, and the women sometimes come up to you if they like the look of you, and they're quite forward. You know, I had women putting their hand down my pants and all sorts of stuff, so very frisky and forward in Buenos Aires. You're going to want to try and get the girl outside of the venue before it gets really busy at 2:30, because that's when the competition dramatically increases, and you'll be competing with the young, handsome, and sometimes well-off local guys. Now, if you go there solo, you just have to make a judgment call whether to stay until the end and then try to bounce with the girl, and probably her friends too, or try and take her to a more intimate local bar where you can talk more easily. Now, a discussion of women in Buenos Aires wouldn't be complete without the strip clubs. The strip clubs in this town are wild. I went there quite a few times and actually dated one or two of the strippers there. It's a very, very sexual atmosphere, and in most strip clubs they, dance naked, get their clothes off, but in Buenos Aires it goes, even further than that, and they are very touchy-feely, and if they like you, they will chat to you without expecting any payment, and you can get their number and take them out again. So there's a tip: if you do go to Buenos Aires to try and meet women, try the local strip clubs. Of course, all of this is only useful if you are actually in Buenos Aires itself. If you really want to meet hot South American girls in your hometown, wherever you are in the world, I recommend you try this specialist hookup dating site I mentioned earlier. Check the link in the description. I keep it updated with the best dating sites around, and this particular site has loads of hot South American girls looking for a gringo. So click the link in the description, try it out, and I'll see you in the next video.